none of these are open.
Yeah, I love to see them. Let's see it.
Yeah. We got, which one is that one? Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. So that's before Tokyo SOS. So that's the original redo of Mechagodzilla. We've got Godzilla versus Mecha King Ghidorah. Chalk. I love the chalk drawing.
That's so cool. This chalk.
I like the chalk drawings. I even like the Japanese font choice they chose.
We got Godzilla versus Mothra, Battle for the Earth. None of these have been opened. I'll do an open on them and do like some shorts. You know, I've got like the whole Godzilla collection pretty much now. I think all I'm missing is Space Godzilla and one more. And Space Godzilla is coming soon. So Tokyo SOS with both Godzilla and Mecha.
Godzilla. Oh.
Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, giant monsters, all out attack. Cool. It's not the best Godzilla movie, but it's a good one.
This is my giveaway. This is my giveaway for tomorrow's comic talk.
Nice.
A Dale Keown, because there's going to be some Hulk talk. So we're going to get Dale. So if you're in the show tomorrow, make sure you're there live, and we'll give that away and a couple extra comic books to go with that during our comic talk. So yeah, this is our cold open, guys. For those of you who don't know how YouTube is, and they encourage us now to not have the same type of intros and stuff. So we'll just chit chatter around here a little bit for a few minutes before we get going, talking about Krull. Look at that. That was Rodan. Yeah.
I was really surprised I found this, because this is the original black and white motion picture for Rodan.
Is that a reissue, or was that one you were just kind of, little like eBay prowling and you happen to kind of come across it?
These are all from Mondo, and they're all numbered. I don't know if you can see the number down there. Some of them have less than 500. Some of them go up to 2,000 limited. And then I've got the other one back there in that set back there, but there's Rebirth of Mothra 2 and Rebirth of Mothra 3.
Very cool.
But yeah, all these are off of Mondo. Every single Godzilla album, except for the multi-albums, I've got on Mondo.
That's super cool. I'm going to post these. I don't know what to do so I don't have the original Flashpoint number 1. I have one of the variant covers, and I have all the books. So all the different ones, 2 number 4s, and the prices are like all over the map. So if you catch an auction, you can get these for like $30 or $40, and then people like, there's a couple buy it nows where people paid like $80 or $90. So I don't even know what to do. And then I have like the random books to get rid of. But welcome to Talk Hard, everybody. How about a proper intro? What do you think, guys? We should probably just do a proper.
Oh yeah.
All right, there we go.
This had nitrous oxide and testosterone pumping through every shot they took in this movie. Entire movie, and that's how you have to make those movies. You can't go girly mode and be like, oh, wouldn't it be amazing if they did this? Get off the set, you prancing fritter. Get off the set. No, we need testosterone. We need manly men doing manly things, cutting people in half and screaming, "This is Sparta."
All right, Chris, you heard that hashtag prancing fritter. So.
Dude, let's go. Come on. Dude, hold on. Can I figure my buttons out? That's block. That's better. Oh, my bad. Dude, nah, give me my accident.
If you're in any form of entertainment, whether it's comic books or movies or television or whatever, you've got to be grateful to the fans. You've got to be grateful for their enthusiasm and
Well, we are indeed grateful, and we are so grateful that you guys are here with us. And with me, as always, I am grateful. My brothers, these co-hosts, Stone Loki, my brother. How are you, my friend?
Doing well. How are you doing, Pops?
It's been awesome. It's so relieved to be back with you guys. Apologize for being ill last week and missing out because it makes my day, makes my week, and it was. I gotta be feeling pretty crummy to miss out. So yeah, it was that bad for a few minutes there. So yeah, but happy to be doing this. Wish it was a better movie choice, but hey, listen, we can have a good time. Ironcaster, my friend, what's your thoughts?
Oh, I've got a worse one. And actually, I needed last week to recover because I had to have a really terrible experience watching Batman and Robin.
Why did you watch Batman and Robin? I saw a couple people online watching Batman and Robin. What's the deal with the watch on that?
All I know is people were talking about it, and I'm like, I should probably rewatch it. I haven't watched it since I was like in my teens. I'm like, all right, next chance I get to, I'll sit down and watch it.
It's going to be a cold day in Ironcaster's living room.
Oh no! It wasn't even the living room. Fast forward to the dentist office.
I think I'd rather go to a dentist.
And watching Batman and Robin?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
So
I wonder this man can survive Tubi movies. Wow.
I got to sit down, and they're going to go like take care of a crown for me. And I'm like, and they're like, you want to watch a movie while we do the work on you? I'm like, all right, sure. Let me see the list. I'm like, kids movies. Let's get to the bottom. Batman and Robin. Oh no.
So the universe is aligned against you, and you have to watch. See, that's what happened. So today is Throwback Tuesday for me. I moved my throwback day to Tuesday. So I wrapped up Shark Month, Shark Week, Shark Fest, Talk Shark, and I did 40 meters down. And then Mrs. Pops had turned on me because I asked, what do you want to watch? And she shows 80 movies. And before that, I had mentioned our shark stuff, went through some of the absurd shark titles. And when we were scrolling through the 80 movies, she saw Jaws 3. She goes, oh, I could watch that. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, Dennis Quaid. I'm like, and all I know is all the members and all the poll, you chatty chat people, Stephen Ransom. I see you, Stephen Ransom. I will never forget. So yeah, that review went up today. My gosh, that's a horrible movie. Holy crap, it's embarrassing. So yeah. Daniel, shots fired. Greatest movies of all time. Daniel, you just come on up in here, man. Daniel, you come up here, hold your own, because woo. All right. So before we get into that, let's say hey to everybody in chat. Brandon Looney Tunes is here, doing very well. Good to see him. He's at 1641 on his sub count. Congratulations to Brandon. I know that means a lot to you, and you're doing well, so that's awesome. Chris Persia, the mod of mods, holding down the fort for us. Thank you so much. The triumvirate of talking hard. That's it. Thank you, brother. Thanks for hanging out and here being one up. Louise is here. Hey there, lady. Awesome to see her. And of course, yeah, Daniel's in, and Jacob Ironside as well. So great to see him as well. So, Loki, where are you at on your Krull love? Where are you at on this? 40 years later, how does this freaking movie age for you, brother?
As a kid, this was all about, the warrior and his special Excalibur-like weapon, right? Rewatching this as an adult, you realize it's not about that at all. This is about a redheaded princess that's going to give birth to the ruler of the universe. It doesn't matter whether it's going to be the beast who's trying to worm his way in and plant his flag so that he can be the one that gives birth to the ruler of the galaxy. It doesn't matter whether it's Corwin who goes off and gets an Excalibur-like throwing star and he's going to be the ruler of the galaxy. Somebody is going to plant their flag in this princess and be ruler of the galaxy. So it's really about a redheaded princess that has to choose who her love is going to be, and she's going to give the gift of fire of the heart. It's like that Enterprise theme song, Faith of the Heart. You're like, no, not again. But that's exactly what happens.
There were so many. They're like this. Okay, I'll try to save it a little bit. Man, oh man, Ironcaster, my brother, because you just watched this again. You were blowing up our private messaging about watching this. Oh, give me another week to watch it again, or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, You're braver than I. It took me twice to get through it once. So what's your take on Krull?
The thing is, like, this, it kind of falls into that middle of the pack for all like the 80s sword and sorcery movies. And as crazy and out there as some of those movies are, like, this pales in comparison to some of the other ones. Because at least, like, the sword and the sorcerer had, like, the crazy tri-sword. And yeah, they've all got their little nifty weapons, sure. But it was like, we got the cool, like, demon lich, and we have, kind of the action hero going around, running around, all this. This movie isn't as good as some of the other ones.
No,
except for like the X-Spider. The X-Spider is great.
Yeah, Excalibur is probably the top of the tier, but Sword and the Sorcerer is far superior to this film because it's so much more fun. And I'm not even saying that because of the amount of boobies that are in it. I'm talking about it's actually just a fun movie. It's fast paced. Lee Horsley is not taking his experience that serious, and you can tell at home you're having a good time as well with Lee Horsley. This movie, like, it never quite knows exactly what it wants to do. And 13-year-old pops love the movie, like Loki was saying, as a kid. I enjoyed rewatching it. I've always owned a copy, whether through VHS into DVD or whatever. I could not get Mrs. Pops to let me watch this. During our watch time, she was like, no, she's not doing that. Of course, it's got that cool weapon, like you said. It's like, you wanted this. They call it the Glaive. And it's like, okay, yeah, I don't know. Here we are.
It was a starfish. I get it.
Well, Highlander is like way superior to a film like this. Like, yeah, Highlander's top shelf compared to this kind of stuff.
Which one?
There's only one Highlander movie.
There's only one Highlander. There's only one.
Are you talking about Highlander or are you talking about something else? Because I don't understand.
There's the Highlander movie in a series, and that's it.
Then there's other stuff that has Highlander's name on it. Right? So, DJ Ronnie G is here. Says, "What are you gonna crawl?" Yeah. The movie has so many, like, I've never really gone deep on Krull, as far as like the behind the scenes and the making ofs, and even with that, I kind of thought, well, maybe this is my chance to do that a little bit, but I just didn't do it. Just kind of like, I'm just gonna kind of just take it for what it is, because this movie seems like a hodgepodge mess. I know before we got started, Ironcaster and I were talking Loki. James Horner comes over and does the music, the score. And I said, I would not be shocked if Horner admitted that he used all of the unused music from Wrath of Khan for this movie. Yep. It's all the knockoff takes, because it's just, and it's so badly put together. I said, I had to stop watching because there's a scene where they're just walking and he's got this adventure music playing. And I'm like, it doesn't match. Like, my brain was disconnecting the whole time. Like, what is that? And they're just walking. Like, and then it happens again. They have a cutaway scene, and the cutaways are terrible. So before I continue my on and off again ranting, because you'll see this a lot during this film, this movie is just in a hodgepodge mess. Let me say thank you to Daniel, my brother. Thank you. It's easy to take a shot at Krull because they aimed high, but that is what counts the most. No, it is not. We complain about all the remakes, the sequels today, but do we really mean we want originality? Krull did it. Okay. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you very much. Who wants to take their first shot at Daniel's comment?
Hey, I like this movie. I do, but I still will be the first one to say that it's like that 80s movie with the chick in her bra on the front, and you're like, oh wow, look at those. This has got to be a great movie. And it's absolute trash, and you don't see any titty the entire movie. So you've got Corwin on the front. He's holding up the Glaive. You don't even get to see him use the Glaive till the very end of the movie.
Very end of the movie. You're like, what is happening? How would he even know how to use it? He finds it and then never touches it, and then but he knows how to use it. He's like a Jedi who just knows how to use it. Yeah.
And it's not even that important because it doesn't kill the beast. Only the fire of their love, Alyssa and Corwin's love, can kill the beast. So I forgot that. Yeah, and I even like this movie. I'm like the one that was like, yeah, Krull, yeah, let's kick some ass with Krull.
We had this on the schedule. this came up last year because we talked about doing Excalibur, then we delayed that, and we had Krull, so we listed those two, and I think we had a third one, and we're like, we'll do these for sure. And it's like the 40th anniversary, so I'm like, oh, I've got it earmarked, so we can't really put it off. And here we go, Ironcaster. Is it true? Is it aiming high is what counts? Is that what really matters the most? Where is it?
Well, I mean, you look at kind of what was coming out around the same time as this. There was just a lot of sequels. Superman 3, Octopussy, Psycho 2, just kind of going Return of the Jedi. It's sequel. They're trying to go out there and do something original. It aims high. It takes its shot, but it ultimately comes up short, I feel.
It lost at the box office. Its opening weekend, it finished. I looked it up, make sure I got it right here. It finished 4th behind the opening of National Lampoon's Vacation, Jaws 3D, and Return of the Jedi, who was on its 10th week. It only lasted in theaters for about 3 weeks, and then it kind of died out. And then when Fathom Events did a 35th anniversary, it got about $600,000 or whatever, lasted for 2 showings or whatever. So, Daniel, I'll say this. Look, I think that you're right if there was a true visionary behind the film. Like if somebody said, I wrote this is my passion, this is this universe that I'm trying to build. I feel like Krull is sort of like a child of its time. It's in the wake and the shadow of things like Excalibur. We see Liam Neeson in it. It's got all these people, the British actors, who all have like little pieces of credentials. They have all these cutaways where they're trying to do like this, with the type of armor the Slayers have and the universe and the beast and all that. But it never quite it's never really. It's fantasy and it dabbles with sci-fi, and it never really quite knows exactly what it wants to do. And I think that's what happened.
It was
sci-fi stuff, like the castle going through space and the Slayers having like super laser
like
sword
lasers.
ability. Yeah, no, yeah, they should have just left that out and had the castle teleport or whatever. That would have been cool. They kind of do that with Castlevania. You can move the castle can move. So that was a really cool idea. I like it. You could have had them just shoot the little spirit things out. The advent of gunpowder before, and it's on another world, so it doesn't matter. 2 suns. They've got 2 suns. So they show you at the beginning of the movie, it's a different world. You're not on Earth. So maybe the Slayers figure out gunpowder, the Beast figured it out, or whatever. But you've got this horrible thing that woke up and now wants to rule over the planet. And just have them rule over the planet. It doesn't have to rule over the entire galaxy.
And I think if the Beast had some magic and stuff to explain some of that, it would have been fine too. Go ahead, Ironcaster.
Oh, I think a part of this also kind of stems from the origins of the movie, because from what little bit I was reading about, it was originally intended to be called Dragons of Krull. When I think they were trying to pursue the Dungeons and Dragons license, because that would have been right around the time that Gary Gygax was out in Hollywood trying to venture for getting D&D into the Hollywood scene. So it lines up. It sounds like it kind of works. And then when they couldn't get that, they said, let's just turn the dragon into a big eyeball monster.
Well, he even kind of looks like the devil dude on 2nd edition AD&D. So if you look up the 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons guide, he looks like the devil dude holding the girl on AD&D 2nd edition. So I can see that.
I think that's the main thing. And thanks, Daniel. And I really do appreciate that super chat. Thank you again for that so much. Fair rebuttals. Because here's the thing, I think we all wouldn't mind watching it again, and it's a movie that can just be on. Ironcaster said this earlier, like if you were not feeling well and you turned it on, if you nodded off, you know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. It's like Krull. We're doing our one-time tribute of it, but it's not a film that we're like, we don't mean to sound like we're hating on it as much as we are, but it is technically a mess, and it's just pure for just generic fan love of it, especially because I am young and I saw it in the theater. And I will admit, like there was a Glaive toy and these kinds of things were really, really cool. But yeah, I can't the editing. Oh my gosh, guys! When you're going through the story, and then they cut away to the princess for like just this nonsensical cutaway. It's almost like, well, we need to have a segue here. We need to have a cut, but it wasn't really thought out. It was sort of like the post-production to me changed what even was in the script because it's so discombobulated at time. And then that's compounded by the fact that the score is all over the map. So, he was, this is a time when we were ecstatic to get any sci-fi and fantasy we could. Mini fantasy was really a scam for just loincloth. I don't know. This was a heyday, man. We beat 81 through 85. We end up with like the Conan movies. You got Excalibur, Sword and the Sorcerer. I mean, there was a lot of them, and this one just couldn't quite figure out its lane. I think, like Loki, we were talking about the lasers. I think that the way they use the rotoscope stuff at times doesn't really work. It's like, what are we doing? They would have been better of using like actual fire, having them just do swords and arrows and ground themselves in more like a fantasy, or like you said, put yourself on a fictitious planet so you can break some rules, but you can kind of connect. I don't know. Let me see. Oh my God, I almost missed this stream. Matt, how could you possibly? This is one of my favorite movies. Oh my gosh, Matt, holy cow. Matt, my brother, we would have had you come up in here and defend this thing. Yeah, it's fine. British fantasy. We got it. Yeah, we know. We know what it is. We know what it is. We get it.
Well, I mean, I like this movie. I mean, like I said earlier, I like this movie. This is a movie from my childhood. So of course there's an aspect of rose tinted glasses to it. Yeah. But there are problems. There are some problems.
Yeah, that was definitely
that's one of them. I can
see the parallels for one of them. Yeah. There's conflicting reports because you were saying that IRONCASTER. I was looking it up, and there's some conflicting reports that they never actually approached D&D about a license, though. So it's like they talk about it, but then I don't think they ever actually acted on it, or it was just too expensive. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, it sounds like they were kind of working under the idea that they could later get the license, and then when that just never happened, they just kind of dropped the idea altogether and just kept making the movie.
Okay. But this would have been 100% in the theater. There's a dollar theater in South Tampa. It was near Britain Plaza, so the more of the mainstream movies would be there. The dollar theater was down the street called Twin Bays, and it would have been a Twin Bay movie for 100% certain. So I would have probably saw it on week 3 or 4 and at that Twin Bay theater for sure. Because I definitely remember seeing the theater for certain. So
because it looks like about that time, like Curse of the Pink Panther would have been at the main theater.
I don't know. I looked at the box office mojo, and it was like I remember seeing Vacation with the aunt. The aunt wasn't supposed to take me, but she took me because they wanted to see it because it was rated R, right? Because of I think Beverly D'Angelo's boobs and some of the other stuff. It was rated R, right? So I wasn't supposed to see that in theaters, but she took me. So so I knew of the time frame of when this landed in theaters. Let's see. So yeah, it opened, Vacation, Jaws, to Jedi, Krull, Staying Alive, which again, theater, because that's that, Travolta sequel stuff. That was terrible. I know I saw Trading Places. I know I saw Trading Places in theaters because again, Jamie Lee Curtis. War Games was in theater. Definitely saw that. Octopussy, which I remember very vividly. So yeah, and then of course it. The week after Risky Business come out. I don't even remember this movie. This movie's called Star Chamber. I don't even know what that is.
It sounds sci-fi.
Star Chamber.
And then the third week, Cujo comes out, and now Krull is already down to number 9. Oh, Smokey and the Bandits 3, and Curse of the Pink Panther comes out. So Star Chamber.
But can it be Smokey and the Bandit 3 without Burt Reynolds? I don't think so.
No, I don't. I never saw that. Yeah. I don't even know what that movie is. It's what it says. I have no idea what movie this is supposed to be. So yeah.
Oh, cool. Metal Storm was out around that time.
Mr. Mom. Holy cow. Golly. I love the theater's life.
I've revised my statement about the 3 best years for movies because 83 is definitely making a case as I'm looking down this now.
You have to go through. We can make a case, but we have to kind of back up and look at some of the other stuff too, because the thing that's also, again, I made the case for 82 because you have to remember too, they were doing some re-release stuff because there was no home video stuff. Like it just was still very expensive. So 82, you have the re-release of Star Wars and you have the re-release of Raiders of the Lost Ark and things like that. So here we do get re-releases of, I believe, Superman. I have to look it up for sure, but I think Superman also. But
are there websites that do have tracking for that? Because it's kind of hard for me to be able to figure out what came out, in the summer of '84 for re-releases to try to,
I can help you figure it out, but probably not in the time that we would need to do our show. So yeah, it's definitely in there. So I mean, even if you just go through Box Office Mojo, you can kind of go through, and most weeks are pretty well documented. So Daniel says it had a $1.25 theater, 2 blocks walk. Yeah, I know. So my grandmother would just drive up and just leave us. Once we got to, like I said, around 12, 13. That was, I guess, teenage enough, and we were okay. And we knew not to break. Well, I knew I wasn't going to break the rules because I was afraid I'd lose my movie privileges. So even if you had friends that were like, "Oh no, we're going to go over here, sneak up," no, pops, it's not playing like that. Movies were way too important.
My pops back in the day would just buy us tickets. So we'd go to the dollar theater. Didn't matter when, and he'd be like, "Oh, you guys want to see Predator 2? Okay," and he'd get us 2 tickets to see Predator 2 and just leave. Be like, enjoy, and that's what we went and did. I don't know. I didn't know any other parent that did that like that back in the day. It didn't matter how old we were. He'd be like, "Oh, that's what you want to watch? All right, here, give me 2 Predator 2. You've seen the first one, you can handle the second one."
If it was rated R, they'd go with me. Like I said, I remember them trying to cover your eyes or whatever for a couple things like that. And then and my aunt was the sitter. That she'd take all the kids, take the kids away. It's like that kind of stuff. So, my all-time favorite fantasy movie, British fantasy, is Highlander. Yes, Hawk the Slayer, followed by Krull, Dragon Slayer, Excalibur, Time Bandits. Wow, that's over a span of some years there too, though. But
I mean, it was that age was amazing for the British invasion of just pop culture in general. You had the major influences of comic books. You had guys like Alan Moore coming over. You had, for years there, the movies were just the British invasion. You had all the Hammer horror coming in.
Yeah, I have no arguments with that list. Time Bandits is definitely on the list of one we're going to get to at some point for sure. I know people have brought that one up. That's an absolutely incredible film. Dragon Slayer needs to be one that we need to get to. It's a contemporary as well of Time Bandits and Excalibur. So yeah, those are good. Vigilante Justice movie. Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right based on the quick synopsis that popped up when I opened it, but I don't remember that one like at all. I have a 0 recall on that one. So Metal Storm, Destruction of Jared Sin. Regardless of what you think about the movie, it has one of the best titles ever. Okay. Don't forget The Archer, Fugitive from the Empire. Okay. Fugitive from the Empire. Cool.
At that point, you're just trying to take all the Star Wars buzzwords you can. Empire.
Mm-hmm. Free range parenting. Is that what it's called? I didn't know that was a term, but that makes sense. That's crazy. No, you should not be arrested. We need to have legal funds for those kind of parents. You're making your kids learn their boundaries and how not to get in trouble and stuff like that. I really thought, guys, I've talked about this. I was older, so I was probably 14 or 15. So it's 84, 85 for sure. And it was Main Street 6. So it was closer to the house. We had moved by then, so it's closer to the house. And I was left, and we were going to sneak into multiple movies. I saw 4 out of the 6 movies that day. And I thought I was a rebel going to go to jail if I got caught. I thought in my head, my brain, I thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this. Yeah. We theater hopped and saw 4 of the 6. Yeah. Matt's upbringing involves crazy violent horror and stuff way early. So kind of like Loki a little bit, but a little more. Matt was left a little bit more to his own devices from what he's told me. So, I guess how do we walk through a movie like this? It's going to make my head hurt. You guys decide, because my head just hurts because it doesn't take long. Because I'm such a technical guy. This is more of a film where I just it can just be on. It's just just have it there existing. It's oh, this is irritating me. Let me just fast forward. So that's how I would normally watch this movie. With making me try to really dial into it was really, really rough. So what are your thoughts and recommendations on how you handle a film like this?
Honestly, I sit back and I kind of strap in, it's kind of like, apparently I will have to watch all my movies now. Like I'm at the dentist's office. I have a lead apron on holding me down. Like I can't move.
Strap in or strap on?
I know. Wait a minute. What did he say? I feel like it's like Clockwork Orange. He's like sitting there. He's got the halo around his head. His eyes are propped open. Oh, that's funny. Mrs. C, awesome. How you doing, Sassy? Good to see you, lady. Let's see. Shelly Lee. All right. First movie I saw in theater was Exorcist. I was set. Holy crap. You saw Exorcist in theater when we were young? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I too have fond memories of being dropped off at the movie theater. We called it going to the show. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Exorcist in theater. Yeah. So I saw one of the re-releases, but it still included the spider walk down the stairs. And that was what did it for me. I know people talk about the head spinning around and the puking scene or what I know. It was that spider walk, man. Oh man, it wigged me out. So
I still miss the dollar theater because I mean that's what that's what we always went to. Unless it was something big and it was something coming out like Batman, something like that. That's exactly what we do. We go and we do the dollar theater and get some popcorn. Popcorn was never as good at the dollar theater, but I mean, it's cheaper. But I mean, they had two screens. You could go in one side, or you can go in the other side. That's it. You had a hallway and you had a concession stand, and then you had the movie. So I love that. I miss that, man. I really do.
We get with Mike. We need to get a funding, and we need to buy this little family-owned theater in Silver Springs, Florida, near where I live, and we should just do that kind of stuff. Just do what we want to do. I don't know how we get licensed to show these things for $1 or whatever, but it's like they show all these movies, and like 4 out of the 6 are just crap. Like no one wants to go see this. Like when we saw Maverick there was only people going to see Maverick. There was no one seeing these other auditors. Like, why are you not just showing some radical old movie that's like its 50th anniversary or whatever? Just do that. Don't do this.
There was a Cinemark not too far down the road from where we live now that only had 4 screens, and it had the old style marquee out in front of the building, and it's gone. The coup completely killed it.
Oh, they wiped it out.
It couldn't survive, but the building's still there. I would love to do something like that. I would love to get together with a whole bunch of people and be like, no, we'll just show old movies too. Always old movies. Never, ever anything that's like brand new.
Yeah.
Absolutely kicks ass.
This one shut down this whole time, and we thought there's no way it was going to come. Actually, I joke. I said it all the time. I bet we can buy that thing at the place pretty cheap. I'll just go work there. My wife was freaking out, thinking I'd be serious, and I'd liquidate our assets to go buy this movie theater, which I would never do without talking with her, folks. So don't calm down. But it did come back. It is all the old stuff. It's the old. And again, the AC had gone out. My daughter was turned away for a movie because the AC had gone out, and like, oh, that's an old theater. The AC's out in there. It's 100 degrees. Don't go in. It's going to be bad. Old marquee, old style of the sloped cloth seat. It's all very closed. It's just everything about it is just old. It never has been renovated, and it's one of those that's like in the corner of the strip. It's not like in a Walmart shopping center area or a mall or anything like that. No, it's like just a regular strip mall in the corner. Yeah, Silver Springs. Yeah.
Are you gonna make sure to go and make sure the floor gets that little bit of stickiness to it?
My wife doesn't like to sit low. That's where the sticky is. Like, so when I worked at the theater, all soda runs to the front, right? So you go through and you're cleaning up popcorn, but at the front is the big puddle of all the spills, and it is incredibly gross, and that's where it all goes. So the further back you go, the less sticky you usually have to deal with. She is a back of the auditorium kind of lady. So, but across this pond from Japan, AC dialing in, and look forward to AC. He'll be back on with me doing a comic talk, so doing that as well. So, okay, so let's do like high level stuff then. Like, Loki, favorite part of the movie. Your favorite part?
It has to be when they're storming the castle, man. When they ride the fire horses, the fire mess. We're going to ride fire mess over the sky and to the castle and storm the castle. That's got to be the best part of the movie.
1,000 leagues in a night.
Yeah, 1,000 Leagues in a Night on Fire Mares. Yeah, the fire horses, and then they storm the castle. Pretty much the whole, like, that whole last 20 minutes of the movie is great. It's absolutely great.
Yeah, the plot along to get there has its moments, but it's kind of a plot along for sure.
Like it was pretty brutal at the end there. Like I wasn't quite expecting to see quite the amount of bodies pile up that we wound up getting here.
Yeah, a lot of folks die. One of my favorite moments is because it's so cheesy bad. So they're literally doing like the Lord of the Rings walk. So they're all lined up walking, and the Slayers just come up out of the swamp, and then the one bends down to point. It's like, looky there. It's so cheesy bad. I was like, oh my god, it made me laugh out loud. I rewound it, watched it again. That was one, and then Robbie Coltrane's character always has jokes like, oh, no money on this trip, not going to make myself rich, not going to have a good name for myself. And then of course when he gets zapped, he has like a quippy line or whatever. That was like, those are kind of like my favorite moments of this movie, those kinds of things. But of course,
days to retirement. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm like so close. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What about you, Ironcaster? You got a favorite moment?
I mean, like I said, it was probably gonna be the stop motion with the ice spider is a real highlight just for the special effects work. I think that's some of the best presented stuff in the film. Between that and I don't know, it just kind of sticks out in my mind where he's like sticking his hand into the pool of like Pepto-Bismol to pull out the glaive.
Yeah, Matt says that he had RPG stuff back in the day, and everybody's wielding a glaive in some way. Yeah,
they stole that in AVP too. In AVP and AVP Requiem, they stole that because the Predator in AVP Requiem double wields glaives. So he's got two glaives that he wields, and it's absolutely wonderful effect in that. Yes.
I was going to snip it just to, if we were going to put together, well, if you guys don't know, just YouTube is not happy about you having any repetitive intros and things like that. So we're all kind of like, let's just kind of take a pause on that a little bit. But I was going to try to track down the Ready Player One moment where he pulls one out and throws it because it just made me smile on the inside. Oh, look, Krull reference. Good. Cool on you.
The glaive.
Oh, Greedo in a Speedo in the house. Hey, brother. What's going on, man? Best name. YouTube, what's freaking great. If you need a break and have some laughs, head over to Greedo's channel. Just you need a moment's pause for some absurdity. Greedo's there to deliver for you. It's fantastic. So yeah, let's spin our wheels on that spider a little bit because the spider is probably some of the best stuff in the film. It's kind of like a pause from the universe that's sort of in conflict, like the universe that doesn't quite know how fantasy or sci-fi it wants to be. I think it feels okay. And then when the evil raid of the castle happens, they're shooting lasers, and you're like, so you got like dudes in armor with swords, like, and other guys have like laser sticks, and you're like, okay, I'm actually kind of confused about the world that I'm in. So on my rewatch, where I'm trying to be a little more thoughtful and mindful of these things that bothered me, but obviously growing up as a kid, who cares? Like, whatever, that's how it was. But watching it again, it was like, oh yeah, would have been better served, I think, if we had an arrow and sword attack or some magic. Just magic would have been fine. So but the spider stuff, I think, can you pull up anything with the spiders in it, or we don't have? Yeah, let's take a good look at that. And I will say too, they also wanted to do something different, right? Because it's is it Crystal Spider? Did I get that right? Oh, hang on.
Yeah, I think you're right. Crystal Spider.
Yeah, because it was something different, right? It wasn't just, creepy spiders or spiders that you can relate to. There's something different about the spider. Like it's a crystal spider, right? And how dark is the sequence or the conversation about the spider? Because you have Ynir and the widow talking about how she murdered their kid.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, this is some really good commentary. And he has some great words of wisdom and some really interesting life lessons. And this is why cinema is so good back then. You go back and watch this stuff as adults, and some of that stuff's what hits you, and you're like, man, that's some good. There's some good dialogue and stuff in all this sequence.
They kind of allude to the fact that she was going to be like the Alyssa. She was supposed to be like Alyssa, and he was supposed to be like Corwin.
Yes, that's
And
correct.
because of what happened, it screwed everything up, and it didn't. And she got stuck there, and he got stuck being the old Obi-Wan Kenobi of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. And it definitely it just, I don't know, it seemed like it just played really well to see Ynir talking about like something that's very much like something that we can relate to with loss, and then just the fact that he's talking about forgiveness and now how not getting yourself caught up in all of this darkness and stuff. And then he's given sort of a hero's journey to like give our actual heroes of the story a chance. You know, he's kind of like pulling a Gandalf in a way, but at his own sacrifice. So yeah. Greedo's saying absurdity. Perfect word. Yes, it is, brother. It is. It's your brand. It should be. Yes. Favorite moment is Cyclops making his sacrifice, knowing he was going to die horribly, but doing it anyway. Oh, Cyclops is the star of the movie in a lot of ways. It's like everything with Cyclops is he's just a great character who really delivers some great moments. That kind of thing.
Thought I'd pull up the Atari game.
I didn't remember the Atari game until we were talking about it, and then I looked it up. I was like, "Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I kind of remember it." Deep Space Nine. Anybody remember Eddington? Yeah.
Yep, he was in DS9 too. Yeah.
Yeah, Liam Neeson's 4th or 5th film. Yeah.
You know, the funny thing is, like, this movie is like the biggest footnote this movie's making is that it is a stepping stone in Liam Neeson's career. That seems to be the biggest the thing this movie's most remembered by.
That's probably true. I think isn't he listed usually near the top of whatever billing they try to associate with his movie? They put his name near the top usually, not because of his role, just because of the name recognition. Sure. And people forget about Robbie Coltrane, who's had a very long and successful career. So yeah. But even others, like we were talking about before, we're talking about Alan Armstrong and David Battley and Bernard Bresslaw. They're all people that turned in a lot of work. So yeah, and see how even like their costume design, like the kid's in green, and I couldn't figure out why is he in bright green. Like it just seemed off to me. That makes sense.
Come on, kid, you need to go play Robin Hood.
Right.
Yeah.
That's because bright, vibrant colors are very rare, especially in that kind of a civilization, to the point that it's very expensive. So you're not going to see a little kid that lives in a swamp in bright blue or bright green. Anything vibrant, any of those vibrant colors are very, very rare to produce for a civilization like that. So you're not going to get that. You're going to get them in grays and drabs and leathers and whatever, basically what everybody else is wearing, not what he's wearing. Corwin could wear something like that, but not the kid.
Let's say the only other one who's wearing green like that is the wizard. Yep. It looks like.
Right.
And hell, maybe the wizard made him his clothes.
That's true. And Bernard Bresslaw, who plays the Cyclops, he's 6'7", and he wore lifts. That's how cool. He was really immersive. He could only see out of the one eye. He had to close one. It's like he was really in and playing this role. It's interesting. And there's some really good. He does the best he can with what he has to work with, because obviously it's a very rigid prosthetic thing that they're doing with the eye. There's the one shot where they're trying to acknowledge him. He kind of does, instead of doing like a full on sort of like a real head nod, I got you. He kind of does it with an eye wink, which I thought was hysterical, but also like it works. So
he's one of the best characters in the movie. Is the Cyclops?
Yeah. Is he better than Colwyn in a lot of ways? Colwyn doesn't seem as interesting as he needed to be for this movie to be successful. Like I think it's not his performance. It's just I don't think the story gives him much to work with. It's just literally like orphan prince, now to be king. I got to somehow find a way to win so I can bang the chick to save the universe kind of thing. There's just not much meat on the bone to him really at all.
I know people like him in this role.
Yeah.
I think he was miscast. He should have been one of the thieves, maybe Liam Neeson's, right hand man or something.
Yeah.
But I seriously think that they should have had somebody else.
Yeah, he kind of comes across as sort of this generic protagonist number 4.
Yeah, I understand.
And he plays a great character. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about like his acting skill. He plays a great character in DS9. Whoever brought that up earlier, Matt. He plays an absolutely great Eddington in Deep Space Nine. I would not change that for the world, but I don't think he's right as this character. Just if you watch the beginning of the movie where he starts crying like a little biatch and he's like, everything's wrong, just go, just leave me here to die. And you're like, what in the hell? What the hell is up?
And then at the end, like the Glaive is stuck in the beast. He's like, it's just we have no way. And she's like, no, it's the fire of our love. And you're like, oh, in 2023, man, this isn't.
It's an Alyssa movie. It's an Alyssa movie.
I know it is.
They trick you. You see this badass Excalibur weapon on the front of the cover. In the 80s, did this a lot. You see Colwyn, and you think, okay, he's the hero who's going to wield this badass weapon. At the end of the day, it's about Alyssa having a baby with either the Beast or Colwyn and her fire love power that she's going to give Colwyn to kill the Beast, because the Glaive just isn't badass enough to do that on its own.
The movie needed to ultimately end with that song, "The Power of Love."
It's the power of love.
The power of love.
God, who did that?
Huey Lewis, baby.
Huey Lewis and the news. Yes,
Yeah,
Huey Lewis and the news. Bring that in at the end.
So this was her first film. Her name is Lysette Anthony, and I'm not really familiar with her work. Have any of you watched? I guess this is a British show. It's a British soap opera called Hollyoaks. So if any of you out there know anything about British soaps and know of something called Hollyoaks, she did 444 episodes of Hollyoaks. So she ended up at the end of her life, or well, I guess she's still young. She's only 59. At the end of her more recent career, that's how she landed. But this was her very first film. So
I think I'd heard somewhere that like they dubbed over her for this entire thing, so you don't actually hear her.
Really? There was a lot of audio dubbing. I saw a lot of notes over like Cyclops, and there's another character too. They dubbed over some audio with him, the other character too, and a lot of voice being done, voiceover stuff done. So, he's a Doctor Who Ice Warrior. Yeah. Let's see it. Carry On Films, and then Lady of the Web played Jessica in Dune. Oh, cool, very cool. Oh, that shot. Let's talk about that shot of where she's because he. Oh, this is such a great metaphor. I got to be honest. These are the parts of the Krull that we can take home and really bank on, right? So, Ynir's talking to her and how he still has love for her, and it's about how he actually sees her. And then it's like she's looking at it's a mirror reflection. It's the young version of herself. And then she turns her head, and when she does, it's the old hag. But in the reflection, it's the young lady. That shot was really, really good for filmed in 82 kind of thing. So not the quicksand scene. Oh God. Oh Lord. I know Loki's like, I wish I'd been able to watch this with Pops. Like this is one of those movies where we wish we could watch it together, because we'd just be like, oh, for love of freaking Pete. Like,
well, we can do that. We can always do that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm always up for that. If you guys ever want to do that, I'm up for that.
Yeah.
Let's get together. We'll watch it this weekend.
Yeah. Time management is the biggest limitation with my schedule to do those kinds of things. But yeah, we will eventually get to that point where things will open up, and that will be how we'll do things. Wouldn't it be great if we could do that and then do Talk Hard? Like you could do it, and then like the next day you do Talk Hard or something like that. That'd be really pretty cool. So a day to marinate on it or something. So yeah, Lysette Anthony's got a ton of supporting roles and things like that. I saw that as well. But that spider shot in the mirror, I thought was just something really, really cool. Am I the only one who liked that shot? Or am I put too much emphasis on it, maybe?
I was just trying to find it.
Yeah. There's Stephen Ransom, you're on a list. He's on a list. He knows what he's done. He knows. Yeah. Like there's something that's really special too, and as you get older, and I got the gray hair in the group, so I don't mind explaining that. 'Cause Mrs. Pops and I have been married a bit, 24 years, and it's sort of like you're going through these ups and downs through life and whatever, and you have this bond that you go through where you're like, I still see you. You're like, there is an agelessness that you have of how you see that other partner. And this scene, I thought, really did some justice to that, which other movies there's whole movies built around that concept that don't execute it well. In this one little scene, I thought it did. And it goes back to what you were saying earlier, Loki, with his little mission, so to speak. Yeah, I thought it was really good. Let's see. Yeah, this was such a good little sequence, and it's sort of very underrated because I think it's sort of like the side quest, right? It's like it's Gandalf in Fellowship. He has to go off for a minute. I'll catch back up with you boys. Let me go investigate something real quick. And it's Ynir doing the same thing. And you end up with like this really deep, heavy, great dialogue, backstory, mythology, stuff that we just don't really get enough of, I guess. I don't know. I was looking for a quote, a good meaty quote to pull or read from. Because it was, what's her name? Is it Madam Web or something? Or they give her like a
the Lady of the Web. Lady of the Web.
Yeah.
One of
Madam Web's marble. Sorry, go ahead.
Widow of the Web. Okay, got it. Okay.
One of the other things I do want to give credit to this movie for that I feel like it does deserve is just how like creative some of these designs are going into it. Like this looks like it should be like out of a like heavy metal album cover fever dream.
Okay.
Like where you're like trying to like you could almost kind of make sense of what it is, but like I don't know what it is, but it is beautiful. And then there's times where they'll like find it here, where it's like they seemingly put him inside the giant eye from like the cover of the D&D book. Here it is.
Well, that's supposed to be the Beast. All of that is supposed to be the Beast. Like she's running around inside the Beast.
Yeah, because it's like it's interesting, but again, this is the identity issue that I kind of have watching it, because I feel like because they didn't go full D&D, they don't really kind of explain to us, because there's the other scene where it's like it's all squishy looking stuff. It's like you're inside like the Beast's head and stuff. It's like it's just we're not quite exactly sure. We understand what the rules are going to be. Like how is she where she is? Like what I don't. So it's not. Trust me, it's never bad. I'm never like disconnected that I couldn't have this happening. Is a lot harder for us to relate to, and then they just kind of cut away back and forth. As soon as they're kind of moving through it for a minute or two, then they leave it again. We're back on the journey sequence. So it's a little hard to get our head around as an audience member, like what Lyssa's actually experiencing.
It would have been nice to have a little more clear definition.
And I don't know. I think Loki, does she really have much acting in it? I mean, she doesn't really.
No.
There's no emoting. Like she's not. Oh my God, I'm in your brain. Oh my God, there's really not much happening. She's just kind of looking around, and then she'll go, "Oh, see, love will conquer." Okay, come back to the boys. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, she'll run off. She'll like be in the eye, and she'll look and see the Beast, and then run or something. And then until she talks to Colwyn, and she's like, "Here, take my love and destroy the Beast."
It makes fire, my lady. When we have love, it makes fire. He's like, big sword or little sword? Yeah. It is.
This poster.
What's that?
I would say, while this poster does summarize events that happen in the movie, it doesn't give you the clear picture of what actually goes on in this thing.
Or what the Glaive does. Look at the Glaive. It's like super laser.
Yeah, like it's shooting lasers and all sorts of stuff, and then you watch it and you're like, it's in the last 10 minutes. He never uses it. They don't explain at all like how he would have the ability to use it. Not that it isn't drawn to him with like an Excalibur metaphor, but it's like, well, yeah, but it's not a sword, so you would have to throw it like a boomerang. Like, how does he know how to catch it? How does he know how to aim with it? And then at the end, it's like the force thing. He's doing like the force thing, like come back to me, and it won't come back to him. And you're like, is he a force user now? It's like it's just everything about it.
He's a Jedi. What do you know?
Just keep going with it, folks. I don't want to tell you. Just it's got all sorts of stuff thrown together. Yes, come back to me, Glaive. And he looks like he's going to start crying. Like they didn't know what to do with his. They didn't give him any acting instructions, right? There's no real, this is what we need you to be thinking or feeling, or he's just doing it. And you're like, he's not really Luke Skywalker. We're not quite sure exactly what Corley can do here. Yeah.
And like I said, he's not the hero. Alyssa, this movie is all about Alyssa. This is not about Colwyn. This is about Alyssa. This is Alyssa's movie. Why? Because she has all the power. The Glaive didn't do shit. Excalibur didn't kill anything. Colwyn, all he did was get to the castle. Alyssa's love, her fire, her all that. She's going to give birth to the Supreme Being, the Kwisatz Haderach. Oops, wrong movie. It's all her. Everything's about her. It doesn't matter whether she sleeps with the Beast or sleeps with Colwyn. She's going to give birth to the being that rules the galaxy. So it's all about her.
We could do a very faithful adaptation, and it would be very 2023. It would be, we could make a very faithful woke movie. It wouldn't have to change a whole lot. I'm willing to overlook her acting because she's kind of hot. Yeah, you know what? I think they could have made more money if we'd, went for sandals and fantasy back in the day, like Sword and the Sorcerer did. Just saying. Zach's in the house. Oh, Zach's. I got an upcoming What's Your Story with Zach's. And by the way, you want to talk about the ultimate of teas. You guys ready? You guys notice? There's a box of X-Men cards that's missing from behind me.
Uh-oh.
We recorded our card break. So if you are a member, stay tuned. I will be dropping the card box break with Zach's. We opened up the box and holy cow, we were blown away at some of the cards. We couldn't believe. And there's one pack that's just like, I don't even know how it's possible. Yeah, it's crazy. And your Muslim uncle, thank you so much. $1.99 super chat. Liam Neeson, Spider Hourglass part, heart-wrenching. Yes, it is. It's such a good part of the movie, and it's so overshadowed with some of the other journey stuff and the weird marketing identity, which is what Ironcaster was saying with the poster and stuff. I remember when the re-release happened, the Fathom Events thing happened too. It was like that poster, and all of that stuff is highlighted in their remix trailer and whatever. I'm like, yeah, I don't remember that. Yeah. So, thank you again, my Muslim uncle. That's awesome, man. That's awesome of you, man. Thank you so much. The dude's playing the Emerald Seer, John Welsh. I think it's his last movie. Lots of movies, including Hammer films. Oh, very cool. I've looked that up while we're talking. So, all right. What else, Ironcaster? Throw something else while I look that up.
It kind of reminds me of like Vader with his helmet off.
Okay.
At the end of Return of the Jedi.
Right. Okay. John Welsh. Here we go. Oh, he was in the original Dunkirk. I remember that for sure. Just a list of movies. They don't really give us much of a. They don't give us much of a sort of like biographical context of how sometimes they have like a lot of information handy, and this is not doing that for us. So we're kind of having to kind of like scroll over stuff. He does have a lot of credits, so he's been in a lot of stuff. I'm not recognizing anything off the top of my head that I'm like, can't lose that guy. So see a lot of military stuff, actually, Matt. A lot of military stuff. But I think the cast was fine. I don't have any major issues with the cast. It's just, the script itself. So Wakasashi, also from Japan, across the sea. Hey, brother. Hope you're Genki. Hang in there, my friend. Zach has some things to talk about. Yes, Zach does have things to talk about. That Watch Your Story is a must-see. You want to really kind of get into the nuts and bolts of YouTubing and go into the grind. Yep, Zach talks a lot about all that stuff. So, all right, Walkie, give us a heads up and let us know what you think. Definitely an interesting thing. So, lots of back and forth here.
It's got some amazing set design.
Oh, they built. Oh, this is where all the money went. By the way, reset the clock. We have a Loki Zardoz sighting. So there we go.
Zardoz.
Oh no!
Never ends. Never ends. No, this was a massively expensive film. This is part of the reason it's considered such a financial disaster. They spent a fortune on like 7 massive sets. The swamp set is enormous, and the director had to stand on like a raft basically and direct off camera. Like it's crazy what was done.
They wanted to use a bunch of Pinewood Studios at the time.
Yeah. This is that scene I was telling you about where they're walking, and then the one guy bends around and goes, "Oh, look, there, right there." It's so comical. Yeah. That massive sets. That was one of the things I actually was reading and was more interested in was like how complicated it was. 10 sound stages, 23 huge sets. It was $30 million, which back then it's a lot of dough. Yeah. They did a lot of that spider stuff pretty early on, so that's pretty cool because they had to have something to build from. And you know, the irony is that's actually some of the really, really good stuff. So, what are some of the other take homes you have, Loki, when you rewatched it?
The music. We got to talk about the music.
The score.
We got to talk about the music because, like man, we were talking about earlier, and I said I think it was a couple of weeks ago when I was like, there are bits of Wrath of Khan in here.
Not even a question.
Yeah, because you'll hear it. It'll be like, you know, dun 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 dun. You're like Wrath of Khan.
That sequence where they're walking and it's Star Trek music. There literally is a Fellowship of the Ring walking sequence, and they're playing like high tempo Star Trek musical score. James Horner is like, "Well, I got you this. You know, I won't charge you extra." I think they got James Horner on the cheap. I don't know what else there could be for an explanation. Makes no sense.
They absolutely had to. They just say, "Give us some shit you've already done, and we'll put it in the movie. We'll figure out where it needs to go." Yeah,
like how much are you going to charge us? They'll be like, you know, he's like, "I want $1 million." Like, we can't have $1 million. All right, well, I'll tell you what, I'll do it for $250, but I'm only going to give you one original piece. Everything else is stuff I've already done. Something like that.
So it's crazy just kind of looking down the list of movies he's gone and composed for, like Avatar.
James Horner's a goat. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, he's one of the biggest names of all time when it comes to musical scoring. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't even know. I have to pull it up. I would venture to say he's won a couple of Academy Awards at least. I don't even know how many has he won. I know he's won at least one. I remember it happening. I know Braveheart was possibly one. Did he win Avatar? There's a couple that he's on. He worked with Cameron on a bunch of films. So Ridley Scott, Cameron, these kind of guys. Yeah.
Let's not go and forget probably one of the most influential things he did of the 90s. My Heart Will Go On music video.
Heart Will Go On, huh? Hey, listen, you know what? If it was successful for its time, it really was. So, I mean, I hate to admit it, but that stuff was so viral. It makes my head hurt. I don't need to go the rest of my life even acknowledging that stuff exists. But yeah, it does. It was completely bonkers how it was everywhere. Oh my gosh, it was too. Oh,
just one word. It's literally one word. We'll just sit to the flashback.
Yeah. He did Somewhere Out There, the American Tail one. Yeah, My Heart Will Go On.
Beneath the pale moonlight. No, thank you.
Cocoon, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Braveheart.
Give him the lazy eye.
Yeah, you need a lot of stuff. Yeah. Let's see. The guy is either Colwyn or Alyssa's dad. Is all-time favorite Doctor Who episode. Pyramids of Mars is the man who is the Satek free Marcus Scarman. He was in 3 other Doctor Who episodes too. Okay. Ooh.
Well, I mean, it's like everyone at the time was like apparently in. If you're a British actor, you had to do like a tour of a Doctor Who set.
That's true. That's true. And I don't know how do I. It doesn't pull up on StreamYard. So, guys, make sure you hit that little a green gift box at the top of the screen. Shelly has donated 5 Pops memberships. Thank you so much, lady. She's been one of my biggest supporters this whole time. She's a super cool lady, by the way. Snuck her onto one of my live streams. It was really pretty awesome. But yeah, thank you so much for that. If you're not a member, please make sure you check that out. You definitely want to get, we got a couple of, we got an unboxing video with James Mealy coming up. I have him showing off a bunch of his cards, like a show and tell. And of course that Zach's X-Men unboxing. I mean, that's incredible. With 36 packs of Jim Lee art X-Men from 1992 it's incredible. Hologram cards, Wolverine, Deadpool, you name it, they're all in there somewhere. So it was a blast. See how they do it. See how they do it. Look, you say it once, say it twice, third time's a charm. Just keep going right at it. See, so they do that.
Right.
Yeah, I see here. I see. Wonder how many rogue Rouge sharks Ironcaster could take out with a chakram.
I mean, let's see. I could take out the ghost shark, the house shark, the shark of the corn. I could take out the freaking street sharks. Like I could take out more sharks than you can shake a stick at.
He's like Bubba from he's like Bubba from Forrest Gump. I got sand sharks, I got corn sharks, I got sharks on the moon, I got shark gumbo, sharks on a stick.
I got someone showing me a poster for a shark movie I can't show on here.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, no, this is someone who's like, isn't even like in the chat here. It's like someone who, so like T-shirt historian from his channel. He started sending me shark stuff now. It's like this is
fantastic. It's gone viral. You gotta embrace it. Shark caster it up there, members. Shark member it up. Loki, they are asking about a Krull LP. Is there a thing? I assume there's a thing.
I'm sure there is, yes. Whether it's original, I don't think they ever did a remaster or anything like that, but I guarantee you there's an original one.
There you go. There's there's some emojis thrown around there. The knives for sale. The Loki's Zardoz, the scissoring hen, landmines to the head, shark caster, fight for the user, talk hard, and Bob Ross. There you go. There you go. And again, thanks to Shelly. Thank you all so much. It's so awesome. Let me see if I can. All right. So Pat S is gifted a membership. Morning Haze, Small Time Republic, Robert Laurie, and Sacre Bleu, the Deadly Poke of Zorro was gifted memberships. There you go. So thanks again to Shelly. That's so generous of you. So awesome. Matt accommodated it, made it. That's awesome. Go back to Zach. He wasn't quite sure he's seen this movie, but he mentioned the marketing material, which we've talked about. Yeah, the marketing material for this is like so eye-catching. Like it seems like, look, this seems like something they could pull off, like doing like a 1/6 scale of Corlin with the glaive with some sort of like fire effects and stuff, and it would look so cool. And you'd be like, it's not even in the movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And they could too.
It would work.
Not even in the movie. Yeah.
Not even in the movie.
They did shit like that then too.
Yeah.
What was the movie with the booby ship? The sci-fi movie with the booby ship. Everybody knows the booby ship. It's got the one kid from. It's got the. Oh man, what the hell is his name? Space. It's like space. I don't know what the hell. Hold on. Sci-fi. The booby ship. Sci-fi booby ship. Booby ship. Booby ship. Nell. Battle Beyond the Stars.
Battle Beyond the Stars. Okay, yeah. Okay,
yes.
yeah.
The booby ship. Yeah.
Yep. Booby ship. Yep. Why is there not a 6 scale? I mean, make some phone calls.
I want
you could sell a booby ship.
Booby ship.
Booby ship. Yates, the guy who directed Krull, has actually won an Academy Award for his previous movie, and way back he directed Bullet. Oh my gosh, Peter Yates directed Bullets. That is right. Bullet isn't one of my top lists. I've got to get to Bullet this year. Man, I love that movie. This is 55th year. Steve McQueen classic. Real. Those are real car crashes, man. That's such an incredible sequence. That is freaking. That movie is so boss. And you talk about like the movie star before they were movie stars. Steve McQueen was the man. Was the man. Yeah, I teased it, Zach, but I didn't tell him what actually happened. There's one pack where you're just like, we're gonna have to clip it because there's one pack where you're like, I can't believe this is one pack of car. And I think Zach says, could you imagine buying and opening this pack? And then we went down the rabbit hole where they actually do make special packs now. Like they make a super pack. So it's a card with all sorts of just special cards. There's no regular cards. This pack was almost that insane. It felt like this was rigged.
Card after hologram card after hologram card.
What? X-Men cards. Yes, Padawannabe. Yes, Padawannabe. And you do not want to miss that stream. That will be a stream for you, Padawannabe. 100%. My X-Men buddy, for sure.
Shark Exorcist. There's so many holofoils.
Yeah, I have them over there. So yeah, they're right there. I got to go get them sleeved up and figure out what's next for them, and go from there. So AC's throwing out some Tron references, fighting for the user. Dax is representing the Sharkcaster. Is on VHS. Yeah, me too. I had VHS copy. Zax has all the cards. Zax doesn't have any of the cards. I have the cards, but I wouldn't mind giving them to Zax. But shit, Jedi Bill throwing down all of the emojis like a boss. That's the way you do it. The guy from Great Escape. That's a Steve McQueen reference. Yes, he is incredible. Yeah, Towering Inferno. So many great movies. He wanted to try his hand at fantasy movies. Studio gave him what he wanted. Too bad Yates did not know how to judge a fantasy script and got someone to improve it. Yeah, it's kind of a mess, though, for sure. Oh, that true? HBO had a Krull rotation. That makes sense. Again, this is like what you were saying, Ironcaster. Like the marketing and the poster of this looks like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see this.
I mean, that was sort of the strategy, though. You put a bunch of money into like a great oil pastel painting. You just kind of like give me some like shirtless muscle man, maybe someone like a woman like at his knees cradling him. Like if you can't get Frank Frazetta, like don't even give me a poster.
Yeah, you know what's funny is like the original art, because I went back and I looked. So in the original artwork, I'm sure you can find it, Ironcaster, but you can see like the beast's face on the mountain. Like you get sort of a kind of a representation of what they're going for, and they lose that. Like the other marketing that you showed earlier was like, they kind of get rid of that part for sure. Yeah, because when they did that re-release, they didn't have all that for sure. So it is. I don't know. What is like the legacy of a film like this, guys? What do you guys think?
Well, I think it's a movie that.
Good point, Zach.
Yeah,
I do give away a pack. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I forgot, Zach. Thanks for reminding me, Zach. We do give one of the packs away.
I think this is a movie that's kind of gone on to sort of be in the rotation of like the kind of sword and sorcery. It's just kind of part of that list of movies that you'll just watch when you're like, I love this stuff, so I'm gonna go watch this, and I'm gonna go watch Beastmaster, and I'm gonna go watch Deathstalker, and I'm gonna go watch, just any combination of like badass of like two kind of like tough manly words, like
Dragon Slayer and from Excalibur, the Conan movies. I mean, there's literally like 10 of these movies within this little window of time that if you're into that type of stuff, it's really pretty incredible. Yeah, Zach, I really forgot to mention this. Yeah, by the way, I should say I am really lost my ability to do promotional stuff like I did before. Now that I do it for myself, maybe I should just have notes, because usually when you do radio, you have all these notes of all these things you have to do. So I made to just start doing that. But yes, we do give away a pack of those cards. So you definitely want to make sure you check it out. It'd be kind of like a first come, first serve thing there. So you definitely want to get that when we drop it. We'll promote when we're going to drop it. So that'll be out there. Sci-Fi Channel used to be Sci-Fi Channel. Movies like Krull aired all along with all the old shows. Yeah, that's true. Ah, Cam. Hey, man, what's going on? HBO in 85, pretty much Jaws 2, Blue Thunder, Krull. When Fraggle Rock wasn't on. That makes sense.
They did that rotation. Don't forget Aliens, too.
Mm-hmm.
That was the thing, too. The HBO always had Aliens on.
Yeah, you'd be lucky if you get those. Otherwise, you might be stuck having to watch Garbage Pail Kids on repeat.
Garbage Pail Kids.
Do you guys remember the Martian movie with the damn Jack Nicholson Martian that was always on?
Tim Burton.
No, not Tim Burton. This was before that. They had these 5 little green Martian dudes, and one of them was like Jack Nicholson as a Martian.
Earth Girls Are Easy.
No, it wasn't that. It was like I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up. Martian movie. Because they're like stuck on Earth. They're stuck on Earth. God, why does he give me The Martian? That is not what I want. Martian movies. How about that?
1980s.
Yeah, it'd have been in the 80s or the 90s. But it wasn't Mars Attacks. It had these little green Martians that ran around and like it was Halloween.
Message from Space. Stephen Ransom says. Is that in here? I'm looking for it. I don't see Message from Space.
Moms. It's a comedy. Explorers is good, but it's not that.
Yeah, that's what I said, Matt. I thought that's exactly
Spaced Invaders. It's called Spaced Invaders.
Invaders. Oh my gosh, yeah.
1990.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's in that though?
Who?
Who did you say was in? I thought you said Nicholson was in it.
Oh, it's like, one of the Martians is like, I always like little Earthling after lunch.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Like Jack Nicholson. He's basically, he's a Nicholson Martian. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
This feels like a movie that like Tom Connors would be all over.
Oh yeah, it's 90s. It's that perfect time in the 90s. I'd have been like 11.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The Glaive weapon is cool now.
Oh
yeah. This is crazy. Space Invaders. Wow.
Yep. It's that middle one in the jacket that's like the Jack Nicholson wannabe.
Is that a mustache on the other one or those glasses? What's this one to his left? It's almost like you can't tell. It's so bad. Oh my gosh. We'll have to work our way up to that.
Oh no. Like this is too much for me.
Message from Space is a Toho science fiction film. Nicholson, never heard of. Okay.
Oh.
Pat's saying he knows it.
Pat remembers. There you go.
Rock that rock that HBO, man. It was on. Wow. I'm drawing a blank on Space Invaders. I don't know why. I'm looking
because
at it.
It's got like 1 star. It's got an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, but see, again, this is this time of my life though. Like it existed. It'd be on VHS. We just watch it.
5 out of 10 on IMDb.
A 5? How is that
5 out
possible?
of 10.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's way too high for a movie like that's crazy. So I don't know. Maybe we'll put it in the rotation, guys. You guys have to think what you guys think. Ironcaster Cringe is great. So yeah, Robbie Coltrane in Krull. We talked about it briefly. Like I actually think he has some really kind of great moments. You can just kind of see some of that stuff in there. Yeah. 11-year-old Loki. Yeah.
Yep. Laughing his ass off. It's a funny movie. At least I remember it being a funny movie. This is a movie I've never bought.
I was dating girls. I know. I was in college, going to college. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely was distracted with school and the girls. Yeah, for sure. It was all about movies, though. So I don't remember it being, again, it's one of those, I don't remember it even being in theaters. Like it does not ring a bell like at all. So
I don't remember it being in theaters either. This was a video store thing, and then it was a cable television thing. So
I was like a total theater. People talk about like being a mall rat. I was like a theater rat, man. I saw everything. Because when you worked at theaters back then, not everything was at your theater, so you'd have to have passes and stuff to go see everything. And it was almost like just that was my thing. That was like what I did. So in that sweet spot, especially from like I would say from 87 and 92, if it was at a theater. I mean, other than like tear jerking girl. No, actually, Space Invaders was in theaters. Holy cow! Space Invaders came out in 1990. It was behind Pretty Woman and Ninja Turtles. Okay, well, I would have just saw Ninja Turtles again. I would never have seen Space Invaders. Hunt for the Red October.
Like the home video was really starting to kick in and become an option for these movies.
It made 3 times its budget. It cost $3 million to make, and it made over
some
15
money.
million. Yeah,
It's
made
a
some
Disney
money.
product, huh? It's a Disney project. Interesting.
I don't get a remake of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoa. Loki threw me for a loop with that one. That was outside of my wheelhouse. And after, I had the same face. Didn't see everything. Yeah, I did see everything. Yeah. Yeah. Direct to video became a thing. Direct to cable as well. Yeah. And that was really cool too, because it would work its way back around to VHS. Like it'd be a cable only, but then it'd go to VHS. Yeah. So you definitely would have some of that kind of stuff. So, golly, we're almost at 7:00. So any last thoughts on Krull Ironcaster? We'll start with you, brother.
For if you really want to kind of get an idea for some like Sword and Sorcery, if you want to kind of get in that D&D vibe and like the recent movie didn't work for you, maybe go back and check out some of the old Sword and Sorcery films. This one is definitely not a bad one to go to. It wouldn't be the first one I'd go with. I'd probably say go watch Deathstalker instead.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Loki.
Don't get fooled. This is one of those 80s I'm going to fool you movies. It's got the dude on the front with like the Excalibur weapon with beams and laser swords and all kinds of shit coming out of it. They're fooling you. It's all about love and the fire of the passion between two beating hearts. And she has to give him that fire so he can slay the beast and procreate to make the ruler of the galaxy. Do not be fooled. This is not an action adventure movie. It's a love story. But it's fun. It's fun to
walk
watch
into Star Trek music because it's about the power of love. Yes, yes. Look, a guilty pleasure, saw in theaters, and that sweet spot for me as a kid. Enjoy it. It'll always be something special in that regard, but I am well aware of how bad this movie is. It does not age well. It is not, it's got about a couple of scenes. Like I wouldn't skip the spider scene and stuff, but some of the walking you can skip before they fight again and then skip again. And then before you get to that last 20 minutes or so, but yeah, it's about the fire of love, baby. The fire of love. So I don't want to forget. So again, I want to say thanks to Daniel, your Muslim uncle, for your super chats, and Shelly for that incredible donation of memberships. That's it's amazing, by the way. So yes, Krull is about making a space galaxy Jesus.
He is the Kwisatz Haderach.
Oh, Grace. Talk about being Genki. See, the D&D movie was way better than I expected. I heard that. Beastmaster references. Yes. Yeah, I can't remember that either. I'm with you, Cam. I just did. I don't know why it didn't click for me. So yeah, awesome. All right, there we go. So another talk hard down. Yeah, it's just one of the 40 years though. I will say it was like kind of shocking. I guess it's really hitting me as being old, man. I'm really feeling it now that we're hitting all these movies that I literally have vivid memories of seeing in a theater. And yeah,
I can still remember like talking with a coworker a couple of years ago, and I was mentioning 300, and he says, "Oh, that old movie."
Ooh,
it's like, yeah, that was 2005.
Oh yeah. Oh, it'll get worse. Oh, you wait. You haven't felt the pain in this thing. And I agree with Matt. Like, that's why I pulled that comment up. Like, it's about how I felt when I was 8. Like, I think that's what you feel. I think I call it this nexus era between like age 10 and 25. And this stuff is just almost like ingrained into your DNA if you end up down that nerdy rabbit hole. And you go right back to some of those like visceral experiences. And it's sort of like encoded on your being of, I can almost envision the cloth chairs and having the popcorn and the type of like commercials there would be. I remember like the drive-through memories. It's like some of that stuff is just like, and I'm like right there, and it just kind of elevates my love of it. As a critic, I can separate those two, but yeah, I didn't choose this because it was a good movie. I chose this because of the nostalgia and because I knew that it did not hold up well. But I will say this: the spider scene was way better than I thought I remembered. So, yeah. So
if you're not going to do it, if you guys aren't going to go catch the full movie, definitely at least go check out that ice spider scene on YouTube, because that is amazing.
You have to admit, guys, this is really, really cool stop motion stuff done, in the 80s. It's really pretty cool. Really, really pretty cool. And if you can get the whole sequence where you can get that mirror shot and really get the dialogue that they're going for, like, all this is really, really top shelf. I like all that. So, all right. Loki, my brother, Mornings of Mischief is rolling on. How is that? And what's it like doing cold opens now? And what's going on the rest of the week?
Oh, shit. We're going to do YouTube talk tomorrow. The cold opens are fun. I really am enjoying those. We're going to do Thirsty Thursday, obviously, Thursday. And we're going to have the weekend review with the Lady Arwen Avalon and Dave Bob, the Rooster, on Friday. No late show this week.
Loki, I thought we were talking about.
We are. Yes, I am absolutely positively 100% available for that. So I will let Ironcaster let that cat out of the bag.
Okay. All right. I want to record one time where it's like it's just this. It's just me going, Mr. Loki, 15 minutes till showtime. 15 minutes till showtime. Ironcaster, my brother. What's that?
Oh, I was gonna say, and then you just get the sound of like bottles clanking together, like a whole mess of them. What? Oh!
Is that today? Is that today?
I don't need any. Go away. I've got towels. Thank you. Housekeeping. You need towels?
Land shark, Mr. Loki. Land shark. Plumber, ma'am. Plumber, Mr. Loki. Ironcaster, my brother. What's going on with you?
Well, tomorrow night I will be on with my good buddy, the 32 Flavors of Nickweiser. And the two of us are going to sit down and we are going to take a look at and review the first issue of this brand new Conan the Barbarian series from Titan Comics.
Awesome.
And Friday night, we will be having the Friday Night Comic Shop stream where we will be having, it seems, special guest. Dun, da, da, da.
Stone Cold Loki's will be in the house talking some Amazing Spider-Man.
Well, just talking comics. Do a little bit of the do a little bit of the Wednesday stuff. Him, Clobbering Times, Pablo from Midnight's Edge, Jesse the Common Nerd, and we got a whole little crew. If he's able to make it, Fenrir the Ice Wolf too.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Oh, and I'll be there.
Yes, it will be it. Sharkcasters representing. Tomorrow will be my comic book day. Again, comic book talk tomorrow will be with Eric O'Sullivan. We'll be giving away this and a couple other comics. So if you make sure you make that show, we're talking about some different comics tomorrow, and I think I have a comic book review or so. I don't know exactly. I got stuff going on the rest of the week, Thursday and Friday into the cartoons of Saturday and stuff. This week's What's Your Story is Scuba Pete. So if you wanted to hear somebody talk about chasing down retro toys and that journey and trying to find your lane as a YouTuber, talking about that kind of thing, that's really cool, really neat. What's Your Story so far this month will be Scuba Pete, Eric O'Sullivan, and Zach's will be our What's Your Story so far. We'll be recording more of those. So yeah, tons of great stuff out there. So
his name is Scuba Pete. He's the king of the scuba beat. His scuba gear goes chick chicka boom, chick chicka boom, chick chicka boom.
When he finds a He-Man toy. That's what it is. And when he finds a He-Man toy, he goes chick chicka boom, chicka boom. Yes. Yes, I know Jedi Bill. It's like we're the old geezers on this bus for sure. That's for sure. Yeah, Jedi Bill. It's something, isn't it? So, what issue is that? That is a 377. This is a Dale Keown. It's the first appearance of Green. I don't think it's Professor. It's complicated. The Hulk stuff is so complicated. I think it may be First Gray, but I don't think it's Professor. But it's Dale Keown. It's beautiful, nice cover. I would get it pressed and cleaned if you want to get it graded. It does not have color breaking stress marks. I will venture to say it would grade it if you have it pressed and cleaned, because it needs to be pressed and cleaned, probably a 9.4 or so. I don't think we can get higher than that because it's got a little bit of a roll to it, but very nice copy. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit of that kind of stuff. So let me see here. Am I supposed to share the Castlevania thing, or is that for Loki?
Oh no, I was just like setting it after Loki
Mondo stuff. You guys are sending Mondo. Okay, yeah. Because there was Mondo. So you go back to the very beginning of this. If you came in late, folks, you don't want to miss it. The cold open here is us not giving an F because of YouTube hoops, which we just don't care about. So it was just show and tell and us cutting up, which is pretty much what we do in our real life, back and forth anyway. So yeah, it's so. But yes. Anyway,
now Loki's got me looking at some Mondo vinyls.
Yep, you got to use down the rabbit hole. So, but with that, folks, listen. We thank you enough for being here with us. Next week we will have a very special guest. Brandon, the anime guy, will be on with us. We talk about Lupin 3, Castle of Cagliostro. It's gonna be an anime bust for me. Reset that clock because I haven't not done a lot of anime, but I'll be doing that. Bring in the expert. Let's do that. And listen, guys, just tell you guys to have a great week. Be out there. Make tomorrow a little bit better than today. Be blessed. Talk hard. And remember to chill with Bob. So take care, everybody.
All I do is chill.